Hey guys, hope everyone's doing well. So here's what I want to do. I got a couple piles in my room. One pile that I have on the floor right now is the newer stuff that you guys have seen. Like the Mink DeVille, the Max Webster, the Billy Graham from Memphis Jim and the Misses, and all the newer acquisitions. Now, over here in a different section near my turntable, what I've been doing is actually keeping a pile of records that I pulled off my shelf that have gone onto the shelf from the past months that, I don't want to forget about those ones. I don't want to get caught up in only the new things I pick up and then only get one listen out of these records, And I'm sure that's something that every one of us have to deal with, and it's not something new to anyone. So I pulled out a bunch. I want to actually show and just sort of let you guys know about what the things I've been listening to that I've been dusting off the shelves and revisiting. That have been very, very fun for me. What you're listening to right now is probably one of my favorite album sleeves that I own because of how beautiful it is. And this is fun. This is side 2 of this record. This is Les Paul and Mary Ford. The World is Still Waiting for the Sunrise. It's my first introduction to actually hearing Les Paul's music. The only thing I ever knew about Les Paul was always about his, how he made the guitar and he was famous. What's really amazing and really fun on this is on the back sleeve, there's just tons and tons of blurbs of random facts about Les Paul, which is really, really fun, entertaining to read while listening to the music. I can read over and over again, like random one right here. When he was only 13, Les ripped the back of his Sears acoustic guitar, poked the needle of a dismantled Victrola phonograph arm up through the wood underneath the strings, and turned the record player on. Presto, he had his first electric guitar. Here, how about this? A happy statistician, some with stats, employed by Capitol Records, says that a pile of all the records that Les and Mary have sold would reach 18 miles into the sky, or make 75 piles as high as the Empire State Building. It would also take 171.25 years to listen to them all. That's freaking nuts. I really enjoy the second side. I think there's some more smoother tunes. Some of the things I won't have too much to say about, but they're just great. I have to show them, but I have a lot of trouble because some of them are out like a bit different, Like for example, like this is an album called Mo by McGuire. And I was really interested when I saw this. It had this curly Sue-looking lady on the front here. She's with 3 other guys that are in her band on the back sleeve. What really also I like the Wooden Nickel record. It's an interesting label. I think it's a folky label from what I thought I heard. Trying to see what it was. It's manufactured by RCA, so has heads on one side with the heads in the inside. I've showed this already once before, and the Wooden Nickel on the other side. So and when I went to the record store recently in the folk section at Manifest, I saw a bunch. I did notice some more Wooden Nickel labels, so I might look up the label and see what else is on there. Now I'm more familiar with side 1 of this record when I think about it in my head, but what's very interesting is that the first song has a very funky feel. Then there's a ballad called "Living Without You." Chicago Bust Rag deals with it's like a upbeat swingy song dealing about people getting caught with LSD and all this stuff. So it's very random. There's a lot of different things going on in this record, and it's quite enjoyable. So I'm glad I picked this up. People tossed, I think, a bunch of these records I found at Value Village because they're all like messed up on the ends here. I think it looked like they got water damage in the sleeves, but the record's fine. So, freaking dope. I was turned on by this right away. Found this in the folk section as well, and I felt like who wouldn't be turned on by this record sleeve, It's a woman named Lucine Michaels. It's called Turning Point on Koinonia Records. Koinonia Records in Evanston, Illinois. And that looked very promising to me, and it is. There's some very good songs on here. I really like the sleeve jacket. And, you know, all I can really tell you about it is that it's hard for me to describe it. There's some good melodies on here. She's a hippie songwriter, you know what I mean? Like, she's a woman. What year did this come out again? I'm finding the year in here at the moment, but definitely 70s, and you know, some really cool stuff with really cool artwork inside the hair of the art of the piece. If you see that hair artwork inside, very peaceful songs like "Life's a Passing Season," "Turning Point," "Scarlet Banners," "House Without a Door." I enjoy it when I listen to it, but I feel like I want to sit down with it more with the actual lyrics in front of me from front to back. So I might leave that one out. Revisited Max Roach, Freedom Now Suite. Just been seeing you guys show some jazz records recently and just want to pull it out because I remember being really impressed by it. It's one of the first jazz records I picked up that really impressed me. Also, the whole coincidence how I got the Abby Lincoln record and then found this randomly, not knowing what it was all about, and then Abby Lincoln sings all over the record. This is the re-release. I think it's the 20th anniversary or something like that. And yeah, because it's in 1980, and it has all this information about it on the back. It's the re-release on Contemporary Master Series. It's on Columbia. My only introduction to Max Roach. I have a lot of trouble finding Max Roach in the couple stores I go to, which is weird because I know he's pretty big. Someone once showed the Max Roach versus Buddy Rich, was it? Buddy Rich, I think, is the one that does as the other drummer, and I saw the drum off, and that looks sick. This is another one that's sort of hard to explain, but very, very great, talented guy. I'm excited to have this because it's kind of rare. This is Robert Whiteman, Dangerous Curves. It's his first record. It's on a record label that's seems kind of rare. They don't have anything really out. Called Fumiko Records. Fumiko. Has this little Asian guy on the label. The guy is a very different type of songwriter. I don't know enough about Bill Nelson, but I know Bill Nelson from Bebop Deluxe is very well known, and the thing is that he actually writes on the back of this here, special thanks to Bill Nelson for your divine inspiration, and I know that there's some talk about him being involved, so I think they know each other well. So this is from 86. And this is really great stuff, man. I'm going to dig in this more and try to do a, you know, song-by-song breakdown for you guys, because there's a lot of stuff all over the place on here. But if you try to look this up, you'll find out it's kind of rare. Really worth having this. If you see this, pick it up right away. Okay. Re-listen to this other jazz record today, Don Pullen, Tomorrow's Promises. Alright, now this is on Atlantic. Okay. And it's a promotional copy, as you can see down here. I think, as far as I remember, Don Pullen, yeah, he actually worked on with Charles Mingus. Prominent roles on 4 Mingus releases. Mingus Moves, Mingus at Carnegie Hall, Mingus Changes 1, and Mingus Changes 2. So, you know, the dude has a nice repertoire who he's worked with. First Atlantic venture for Pullen as a leader. Man, this record's sick. The first song, called Big Alice, which you can probably find on YouTube from Don Pullen, it's just like a 10, actually almost 11 minutes, just a funk number. It just like has a groovy bass line. It never stops and changes with just crazy trumpets going all over the place. What's his main thing again? I'm so dumb at all the things I can't remember. I'm trying to remember which. I thought he was. What his main instrument was, what he does on here. These are my favorite ones on that Les Paul album, by the way. Playing piano, yep. And the supper club near his school in Charlotte, North Carolina. Bada bing, bada boom. How about that, huh? First side has a lot more funk. Second side gets really out there with some a lot more, you know, out there type of jazz. And the song "Let's Be Friends," all of a sudden, just drops into a really great woman who sings on here, who might be Ira Warmack, since it's by her. Went back and visited this old bad boy, the Alan Parsons Project, Tales of Mystery and Imagination from Edgar Allan Poe. Man, I mean, I don't think this record gets all the best recognition. I know Zach showed it recently, but like, maybe it does. Maybe you guys just, I don't know. Did they flounder out? Did they start off at the top and then sort of diminish? Is I, Robot a good record? Like, I like this, man. Like, the first side's great, and then what really stood out to me on side 2 here with that Fall of the House of Usher instrumental session is that 4th movement called Pavane. That is such a great freaking song, guys. So, I know I remember hearing from Zach, and I think maybe it was, who was it, Dr. Deadwax, I think maybe that told him that, you know, this version kind of sucked in terms of the quality with the recording versus the original sleeve, but it is what it is. It's the only record I have of theirs. This is really interesting stuff. I've been listening to this one a lot. Very interested in this. This is Jeremy Storch. Again, Jeremy Storch, I showed this a long time ago. Jeremy Storch from A Naked Window. He released 2 albums, solo albums, on RCA. He originally was in that punk bluesish type of outfit called The Vagrants from Long Island. I know there's another guitarist who's in that band Mountain, who's actually more famous for being in that band The Vagrants. But what's really interesting is that, I mean, first of all, this guy's stuff. This stuff is great. You know, he has that really popular song, I Feel a New Shadow, that was sampled for a DJ Shadow song that most people know from Introducing album. So that's where, you know, that song's well known. But what's really interesting, man, is that this guy was in The Vagrants, right? Then he put out 2 solo records after the band split up, and now he's actually going on today in Missouri, I think it is, and he is like this type of Jew, something with an M. It's a certain type of Jewish person that focuses on Hebrew and does all the Jewish holidays, but they believe in Jesus. Sort of newer to me in terms of religious view, but it's interesting. So he's like a really serious, hardcore rabbi. So like literally, like you can look this guy up and find his website and call his office. So I can just call this dude and be like, hey, found your record. It's pretty dope. Tell me about your life. How did you become a Christian? What's your testimony? Who knows? Last but not least, guys, I'm not going to go too more into this. I've been meaning to go over this album in a review video for a long time, and I'm going to do it. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but this is an amazing piece, man. I can't talk about this enough. I'm going to go into more detail on their point. This is from '73. This is Bill Wilson, Ever-Changing Minstrel. And this was one of the most interesting, coolest gems I've found. Great music, crazy fun back info on this guy. He died at a really early age, and Zach, let me know if you know about him before I do another review. You'll see, but I know he was in Indiana and around the Indianapolis scene for like 20-something years. And he grew up in central Indiana. So I know he went to school there for undergrad. But this guy put out 2 other releases, and more recent around here, between like 73, 77, and 80. And then he actually put one last one out, and after like 10 years of not recording anything, and then he passed away from like a heart failure. And like there's a lot of interesting backstory. There's a whole website dedicated to him and preserving his music. It's very, very interesting stuff. So I'm going to save it for the review. I'll try to do that really soon this week. That's my plan. Spend time with this, write some notes on it, get into some more detail for you guys. But I want to have you guys like keep a lookout for this guy's stuff for me. Alright guys, thanks a lot, take care. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.